Hi guys, we're going to make tiny houses today. This is a great little project to use some of your leftover clay. So grab your scraps, grab a few of your texture items, maybe a wooden popsicle stick, scissors, a wood spoon, anything that might give you a square shape or like window shapes. I've got a wood block. Just check around and see what you might have. But your wood dowel will be plenty, even maybe a straw. All right, so just grab a little hunk of clay. These are tiny houses, so you're not using very much. We're going to squeeze it together in our hands and then start to smooth it out by rolling and then pounding it on our canvas. Let the table be your friend here. Every time I pound it on the table, I'm moving the camera, so I'm going to use this green board, but just keep turning it around, pound a few times, and then turn it on its next side. Make sure you do all four sides and then the top, like that, and turn it around and do the bottom. This gets your piece into a square. You might find that you like using the table, or you might just want to use a wood spoon, the back of a wood spoon, to pat it into a square shape.
Hello.
All right, so this is where you pat it. You can just keep tap, tap, tapping. This can stretch it out and make it larger. It really tightens up the edges and makes them sharp. All right, so I've got the base of my house. Now, I'm going to give it a roof line. So I'm going to tap it on each side to make it triangle shaped, like the roof. All right. The clay kind of moves a little bit, so just tap it back into shape, but now I've got a pointy roof line. All right, put your wood dowels down. I'm using pencils, but you have your nice long dowels. Tape them down on the two lines on your canvas piece, and you'll be ready to roll out the roof clay. Me and the tape, it's a constant fight, I tell you. All right, take just a little hunk of clay, squeeze it out. You need to make sure it's as wide as the roof you're going to need, wide as the house, and then roll it flat. You might want to thin it out just a little bit more. It's up to you. I'm going to square off the edges. The edges and the sides. I'm just cutting with my wood skewer. And I'm going to soften those edges. I'm going to pat them down, just make sure they're not sharp. All right, you can wet your finger, guys, but do not make mud pies. You could use your saran wrap too. As the week goes on, you'll find that you have a method you prefer the most. Just make sure we don't get muddy. We don't add so much water that the piece gets out of control. All right, so I'm just gonna scratch and score. You guys will use your little bamboo skewer. I'm using my pencil. I'm gonna scratch one direction, score the other, and wetting that the entire time. We are making Velcro, so this piece of clay will stick to the other piece of clay. Now go ahead and do the same thing. You've got to scratch both. Just scratching one side of the clay doesn't work. You've got to scratch both things that you're attaching. And I'll take that piece of clay and just fold it over the top. Whoop. And press down to make sure it's attached really well. You might see that the sides are a little longer than you want. Look how easy that is just to snip them right off with scissors. Just even them up. Snip. And then press to make sure that's on there and smooth the edges. I'm going to take a little paintbrush and just up underneath there, if I had any scratch marks that I want to go away, I can just smooth them away with a paintbrush. You could use your finger or your skewer. Just want those little details to be finished out. So I've got my little house with my roof. So now it's time to put some windows and doors and different types of fun texture on this guy. A popsicle stick is perfect to use for this. You can snip off one edge, keep one end rounded and one edge straight, and that can press into the clay to make doors and windows. Even little things with lines on them, your bonus card that you're using to compress the clay, that can make some good detail. All right. And this is where your imagination can just go wild. You can add all kinds of things. Window boxes, a front step. I'm going to post some photos of some ideas. You can even make a little village. You can roll out a piece of clay and attach these houses to the flat piece of clay. Put trees and things on. I'll put some photos at the beginning of the video so you can see. But I'm using that tool, just the credit card or the bonus card, to make lines of the door. Using a pencil to make the doorknob. And just playing around with different ways to put texture in here. And windows, square windows, round windows. You could use the end of your bamboo skewer. Taking just a little hunk of clay and scratching and scoring the edge. And look what I'm doing. I'm going to make a front step. How cute is that? It's a little stoop. Can also cut off a little hunk. And these little things, you've got to be careful. They're super fun to put on to make the details, but you have to figure out how to get them scratched. So use the pointy end of your dowel. Patting it to just make sure it's square. It's going to be my chimney, guys. How cute is that? And just kind of press it in there as best you can. Just make sure the connection's good. I'm going to give the roof line just a couple little details, just pressing my pencil in to make dots along the roof line. And last but not least is the landscaping. I'm going to put two little round balls on each side of the front stoop, and those are going to become bushes. It's real easy to forget to scratch and score these small pieces, but oh so important, because those are the little things that when the clay dries, they'll just pop off if both things aren't scratched and scored. I'm going to use the end of my pencil just to dot, 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 and make that look like a couple, like some texture of the bushes. Ta-da! Tiny house number 1. Whoop! I almost forgot my own rules. You guys know the routine. Sign your 3 initials on the bottom. We've got to know that these are yours. They're all going to look similar when there's a bunch of these back in the studio after camp when we fire them in the kiln. So put your 3 initials on the bottom of every house, every single piece this whole week that you make. Please make sure your initials are on there. All right, and you can take some more scrap clay and keep on building.